It's like when the inside screaming becomes the outside screaming.
The outside screaming is what I'm naming my memoir.
Yes.
Or my speakeasy. I'm not sure.
My line of sex toys.
The outside screaming.
Welcome to Three Black Femmes,
where we theorize our sex toy lines. Daryl, tell us more.
And just discuss hoeing and healing. No. Healing and hoe shit.
Right.
There we go.
You have to start with the healing.
Yeah, you do.
And then get to the hoe shit.
And to be fair, a lot of my healing and my hoe shit run parallel.
Right.
Like if it's a Venn diagram, I exist right in the middle.
Ooh. I used to hate Venn diagrams, but now I love them.
I still love Venn diagrams.
Yeah, they're kind of great.
I say that I am going on a quest for healing in order to excuse all the hoe shit I'm doing. That's my thing. I'm just like, oh yeah, like this is healing, this is catharsis and freedom, and then I just start fucking everybody.
Yo, that adds new meaning to your comment under my meme earlier about
oh my god.
Oh, when you convince yourself you're not depressed.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But you're just like repressing feelings and it's all coming out in other toxic ways. I'm fine.
Everything's fine. We're great.
I always make pancakes at 4 a.m. I always solicit dick this time.
I love Desperate Housewives. That's why I'm watching it right now. Shut up.
Leave their tears of joy. Like that's
nobody asked you to say anything. Just like, come inside and fuck.
Yes. My evening will be brought to you by that phrase.
Yes.
Oh.
So I'm Rhythm Keen, and I had nothing to do with that conversation.
Even though it was inspired by you.
Was it?
We were telling Rhythm's story.
I don't know what we're talking about.
I just wanted to include you.
I appreciate it.
I missed you.
No, that's totally my story. It really is. It's fine. Unless my mom's listening, in which case.
Why are you listening?
Girl.
I told you.
I warned you. My mom sent me a message yesterday about a meme that I became a part of. And she's like asking me, she sent me like a quote from the meme and said, what does this mean? I said, this means old people shouldn't be on Facebook. She's like, well, explain it to me. I said, well, first it's called a meme.
Let's go with the first thing.
Like, ma'am. And she was like, so I explained what it meant. And she was like, I still don't understand. I said, that's why you're not supposed to be looking on Facebook.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
You don't understand it because it's not for you.
Right. Old
you don't
people.
have the range.
Yes. That's how I knew I was old, when pop culture stopped referencing me. And so like now I actually have to work to understand pop culture.
Yeah.
And I don't ever put that work in. I don't ever put that work in.
You just know that it's not for you. You move on.
Yeah. It's like, okay. I'm clearly of the like real world Seattle generation.
Right.
Like Ruthie was still a jerk. The black guy was gay. And it was a wonderful episode.
Amen.
Everything else from there is just trash.
Yeah. Yeah.
These new millennials.
Yeah, I actually attempted to have a conversation with a millennial about the real world recently. And I was like, we just shouldn't be doing this is the answer. Because we were like debating like what was better. And this person had no concept of what I was even talking. I was like, we just shouldn't be doing this. This is our fault, actually. Both of us equally. We should just not. We shouldn't have attempted this.
Come here.
Right. So let's just leave.
Story of my life.
Let's just leave. Story of my dad's life. So I'm Miriam.
Oh.
It's one of those episodes.
I try so hard to supervise you appropriately, and you make it so impossible.
There will be no warnings. Yeah, I'm Miriam, a.k.a. Flocka Khan.
Yes. I am Darryl the Griot, and we are Three Black Femmes.
You almost said Three Black Femmes.
Did I?
Life is hard. It's flu season.
Listen, my mouth is tired.
Yes.
But it won't give up.
It will not.
Amen.
It will not.
Amen, sister.
I was.
Are we ready for that already?
I mean, we might as well. Let's just jump in.
Daryl's ready. I'm literally sipping my tea.
Jesus.
So what was the cocktail of the name, Miriam? Flocka Khan.
The cocktail of the day is weed.
Hey. It's my favorite drink.
I was supposed to bring the drink and I didn't, but our producer had some weed. And it's okay that we smoked because there's no more government.
It doesn't exist.
We can't get in trouble, so there are no rules.
No rules.
Anarchy, total anarchy. It's fine.
Amen.
Everything's fine. Everything is fine. You just keep saying it,
and then it'll be a thing.
That's it.
Government
Everything's fine.
Down.
It's fine. It's fine.
Everything's great.
The government went to the store to get some cigarettes. It's coming back.
We're like in the window waiting for government to come back.
It's coming back, y'all. Government went to get cigarettes 15 years ago.
And your mother like, he was a shit father anyway.
You get random letters, like not on your birthday, but like around your birthday. Like, happy birthday, it's me.
This is an estimate.
Like a 5-day radius. I knew it was sometime in early
You're 13 April. Now, right? I'm 27 now. 27, government.
Oh, that milk probably gone bad.
Oh, sadness.
What happened to that dog? That dog that died 30 years ago? That one? So clearly we have experience with.
Everybody's fine. Everything's great.
Okay, we're doing amazing.
We're great. We're doing great.
Great.
Black joy of the episode.
Yes, it's one of those episodes.
Black joy.
Okay. Okay. My Black Joy is dedicated to the past like 7 days of hoeing.
Yes.
This has been some prime hoeing time in my life. I think I sowed these seeds years ago, and it's now time for my hoe crops to get reaped.
Yes, hoe crops.
Hoe crops, and they are.
Make note of that, Mark. We might want to come back to that. Hoe crops.
And they are, and like the rewards are coming back. So yeah, I'm going to just claim this time.
Yes.
And say that's my Black Joy.
Amen.
There we go.
My Black Joy is similar, I suppose. And by similar, I mean not similar at all. But Joseph Chilliams, rapper from the west side of Chicago, has a project called Henry Church. And there's a song on it called Fergie. And it's about Fergie. I mean, it's about him, but it's like referencing Fergie, who I was never a fan of, but I still love the song. And one of the lyrics is know a bad red bone like Malcolm X.
Oh my God.
Cheat on my ex like Martin Luther. And it's like my favorite.
Oh my God.
So related to that.
I found myself in music.
No.
I just really love that lyric. It makes me so happy. Also, I love that the project, and I've never heard I've never heard Joseph Chilliams speak on it. But the project is like super queer. And I kind of like that, you know, like you've had a couple of like hip hop artists that like either released music and then came out, released music. I kind of like the fact that he hasn't spoken on it and just released this like super queer project. It was just like, here you go.
Nice.
And I also like the idea of Foteps being really upset about Noah Redbone like Malcolm X. Noah Bad Redbone like Malcolm X.
Malcolm X is a bad red bone.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
Detroit Red Day.
Yes.
But related, my
King Summer days.
I tell you what will be televised.
It's always Miriam.
You just claimed that mantle. You just went there. You grabbed it with both hands. It's like, I am here. You will deal.
Yo, my ancestors fed the fuck up. Like, my ancestors ordered a mega bus ticket out of my life.
They just like, sis.
Can't do it no more.
Like,
we tried.
That's why you keep fucking failing. We not by your side no more. All my friends are like, I had a dream last night. I'm like, I haven't dreamed in 3 years.
Everything's fine. What I was actually poorly attempting to do by saying that lyric was saying that I really do enjoy that project, but also my Black Joy of the episode was the Radical MLK Symposium at Uncle Bobby's in Germantown. It was so dope. So many of my friends were like panelists, and I was like, I know that person that just said that really smart thing. Let's pretend like I said it. It's great. Nice. It was just dope. It was like community, and like it was super Black, and my son Kavi just like dragged everybody to hell for like lack of like support and care and love for trans folk. And I was like, yes, baby, drag everybody. Thank you. Drag us. So yeah, that was my Black Joy episode. It was great. It was super black.
Contact high.
It was great. And there were black people and like buying coffee and buying books. And then we ended up in the big church across the street talking about radical MLK. And like, it was just great. I was like, this is wonderful.
Yes.
And then there was this woman who was like a little bit messy and strange in the audience. And I was filming it on Instagram Live because I'm messy. And
How did I miss this?
because my phone died. God was like, no, sis.
You ain't gonna do it today.
My phone died and it went away because I was doing it live. I was doing it Instagram Live. It was so great, though. It's like, somebody come get your mother. So, yeah, that was my Black Joy.
I wanted to go to that very bad, and I can't for the life of me remember why I didn't. Let's move on. I am trash. My Black Joy of the episode is on the same sort of vein as yours.
Yeah, I was hoping that would be your Black Joy.
What was it? It was Thursday. So Patrice Cullors and Asha Bandel, who are two of the co-founders of the Black Lives Matter movement, actually are on tour right now with their book, When They Call You a Terrorist. Just an FYI, everyone buy that book, support the black women who started this shit, or rather picked up the mantle and continued with this shit. But they're on tour for their book, and they came to Philly, and I got to open up for them with some poems.
Yes.
So it was a great time because I had no time to prep for it because teacher life, and I had not slept, and all of the things that come with that. So I just like printed out some poems that morning on the school printer.
I mean, where else would you do that?
And just fucking showed up, and it was an audience full of white people. Like there were some like sprinkled, like there were some familiar faces sprinkled, but then there were like some white people there. But it was pretty much an audience full of like white people that look like they grow watercress in their backyard. Like they definitely have a papa san in their garden.
Yes. Philly, I feel like Philly has a market for that. Like,
yeah, like that's the Philly white person.
Yeah.
It's like, the one who has on their lawn, they have the sign that says, "In this house, we believe love is love and Black Lives Matter and the women are nasty," and like all that shit. Like those types of white people was in the audience. And I just like went there and I was like, yeah, so fuck white feminism.
Yes.
And then I just did this poem about, how white feminism fucking sucks. And like,
Praise God.
them. So I'm just like, if I'm going to be here, I'm going to drag somebody.
Yes.
If y'all going to be looking at me, I'm going to insult you.
If I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be here.
I like it.
Okay.
I actually saw a clip from your performance, and I was really hyped.
Oh, heck.
And I have a similar poor excuse for why I wasn't there. It was just a whole bunch of misunderstanding. I actually had two separate people invited me to that event, and I had a meeting. I had like a business meeting at 7:30 that night. So I was like, I have to go to that. And then because I am who I am, I didn't go to that meeting. But then I like started driving to the meeting, and then I was like, it's 7:30, and then so I drove home. And so I didn't then go to your event.
It's okay. It was at the same time. It would have been the same reaction.
Yeah.
And then like parking around the library and things.
Yeah. All of that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it was great.
But buy their book, everyone.
I actually recently saw it at Uncle Bobby's, like right by the front door. And I was like, I need to have this.
Of course, Uncle Bobby's already has it.
Of course. And so there was just like this theme of like, oh, and then after the event, a really good friend called me and was like, so I was just at this event. And he starts describing it to me like I didn't know anything about it because I'm not cool. And I just like listened. He's like, actually, Miriam was there. She opened. It was amazing. And I was like, it's fine. I'm not cool. But he was just telling me about his experiences. It was just like, it just kept like popping up like throughout the week. It was like so many people were connected to it. And
That's so dope.
So dope.
Dope slope. Hope flope.
No, we're not doing that.
We're
No, we're not doing this.
I'm sorry.
I just realized we don't have the timer.
Oh, we don't.
It's because we've been dragged. It's fine. We're going to keep pushing and everything's great.
Everything's great.
Speaking of push,
Push it to you.
which was then turned into Precious.
Yes. Oh,
Hey, segue. Wow.
I'm a professional seguist. Thank you.
Yes, segue.
Hey, yes.
So, Monique.
Then watch you lose the topic. Yes, Monique. We ain't gonna do Monique like this.
Look, this is how I feel.
Monique do it to herself sometimes.
I feel like
she contributes.
I just feel like it's so difficult. I feel like people severely overuse the word nuance, but I feel like in this particular situation, it's so very nuanced. I just don't even know where to start. I feel like you can't. So the issue is Monique put up this video asking people to boycott Netflix for, quote, gender bias and racial bias. Because Netflix was offering her $500,000 for a special. They had paid Amy Schumer $11 million and
Dave Chappelle,
both Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock $20 million apiece for their respective specials. And so she wants everybody to boycott because she wants more money. Fine. So as you might know if you've listened to the show, Amy Schumer also is our safe word. So in the context of this episode, we're just using it as like her actual her
actual name. We're not asking for the conversation to stop.
It's important to make that note. And I don't like her, and I would not watch her special. Blah blah blah.
Trash.
However, so I just kind of feel like nobody should pay her anything for anything at all ever. But like she's relevant in a way that Monique isn't right now, and I think that's important to acknowledge. I think Monique could argue, though, that Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock aren't necessarily relevant in that same way right now.
Yeah.
But they were recently paid a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I feel like there's some merit in it, but I also feel like it's Monique being Monique.
Yeah.
And I also feel like, because somebody posted a really long, bitter post about her, and that person, it's a person that I'm connected to, but that person is also connected to like Oprah, and so I feel like it's biased. Like coming from you, it's biased. But some of their points were good in that, like, in small ways, maybe Monique is, I don't want to say exploiting, and I don't remember the word that person used, but like poor, everyday, average Black people in attempting to sort of align this argument and this conversation with like issues that we actually deal with every day.
Yeah.
And like, in what ways have you contributed to this conversation before it came down to like you not getting paid enough for a Netflix special? And like, what are the ways where you're like detached from, you know, the people that you're asking to like make this sacrifice? It's not like a huge sacrifice, but, and so I get that. I think that's a relevant contribution to the conversation.
I think that the fact, and like people was focusing on like the bare fact that like Monique being Monique, you know, getting this much less money, that was a grammatical nightmare. But like getting paid so much less than, you know, like the likes of Amy Schumer, but then also like Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle is absurd, being that she is legendary,
right?
You know, again, she is decorated. But I do think that relevance is a part of it. And I love Monique. I like to ride for Monique because she's a fat girl from Baltimore. So I'm just like, yes, bitch. Like, I love you. But also, girl, I'm not giving up no fucking Netflix, girl. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, I need to have something, sis.
Girl,
Girl,
what do we have left?
What do we have left?
Reality
We ain't got no
working.
government.
So I gotta get on Netflix?
Come on, I gotta go somewhere and watch Grace. Come on, please. Please.
I think a lot of what you're saying is the reason why, or is part of the reason why, like, as much as I'm not riding with Monique on this, I'm also not like publicly posting things on social media like, girl, sit down, because she is Monique, and because like I feel like as Black women, like, she has enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She don't need me also on Facebook like dragging her about this thing that I may or may not think is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Or even correcting points of like, here's where I think you're right, here's where I think you're wrong. Because I just feel like at the end of the day, shout out to Jamil.
Hey,
our friend Jamil the other day said, at the end of the day, the beginning of the night, we're either one of y'all there? I'm trying to remember where I was.
I think I was on Twitter when I saw this.
He was like, at the end of the day, beginning of the night. And I was like, oh, I'm going to steal that. He was like, oh, at the end of the day, beginning of the night. I said, no, I'm going to just start saying at the beginning of the night.
Yes.
Yes. Because at the beginning of the night, Monique is a black woman. And so, like, if Amy Schumer comes for her, I'm coming for Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's difficult. Like, get your money, but, like, you know, also I play reindeer games with getting gas. So, like, I don't.
Yeah. So
I can't relate, sis. Sorry.
That's such a. Also, like, the idea of, like, you know, because you share an intersection with me or, like, multiple intersections with me, like, if someone else comes for you, even if I don't agree with you, I'm going to have to come for them. Like, that is such a, like, here we go again, nuanced concept. Because that applies, like, so many places in pop culture, especially when it's so easy to, like, you know, get dragged at this point because there are gray areas and, like, you know, people don't always, or because you're just flat out the fuck wrong.
Right.
Like, and I'm going to stop subtweeting and say, Offset, I'm talking about you. Like, you know, like, I'm going to come for Offset because he was homophobic. But if white people come for, if racist white queers come for Offset, then I'm going to come for them. And, like, you know, what, essentially, I guess I'm saying, like, what side do we play? You know, like, who do I have to lend my voice to today? Since it's never mine, you know, like, where do I place it for the day?
That's real.
That's a whole word. And it's hard because Monique has paid her dues. And Monique, I think, like, every black woman I know, is continually asked to pay dues more, to prove yourself more, to, like, pass this other hurdle, to prove that you can do it and that you're better, like, all that stuff. So the $500,000, I think, is completely just disrespectful, given that it's Monique. She's a queen of comedy. Like, it's Monique.
Yeah.
But really, when I think of racism and sexism in the industry, this is not the title holder that comes to mind, but I'm happy rallying around that because for me, it's like you got to, wherever the problem presents itself, you have to address the problem. But my bigger thing with all this is the fact that Monique is such a great actor that I don't want her doing comedies. Like, I don't want her almost like to do comedy specials on Netflix. Like, I want to see her in a vehicle that can like display the fact that she's a fucking good ass actor.
Right.
Like, especially after Precious. I feel like everybody in Precious proved that they can fucking act.
Right.
And I was literally just having this conversation, I feel like 2 days ago with one of my friends about how I went to see Proud Mary. And I love Proud Mary. But overall, it annoys me that we don't have really good vehicles for black actors. And the ones that do come out are so, I'm going to say Chitlin Circuit. But they're so like Tyler Perry, so like slap your knee comedy that it's just like, I want to see something else. And we have the actor, so why can't we see something else?
Right.
Yeah. Man, Precious was so fucking good that I took my fat ass down to the welfare. She acted her ass off in that. I was like, okay, all right.
When Precious grabbed that chicken, I wanted to grab that chicken. I think all of Black America grabbed that chicken.
I think the irony of this particular segment of the conversation, I watched Precious. I was about to argue with myself because I don't remember Precious being on Netflix, but it had to have been. I watched Precious on my ex's Netflix, and I remember laughing to myself as it was like finishing, thinking he gonna open his Netflix and be like, "What?" No, I ain't watched no Precious, but I felt good about it. I felt empowered using his Netflix, but that feels weird because I don't remember it being on Netflix. But it had to have been. Like, what else was I stealing from him at that time?
That's how I saw it.
Okay,
initially on Netflix, like
that's what I stole then.
And like the first versions of Netflix where it buffered all the time.
Yeah.
I remember watching Precious.
Yeah, and there was much more limitation on like how many different screens you could be watching it on at the time. Oh
yeah.
And I was an ignorant ass high schooler with my friends, so like we were just like, this movie with Monique is hilarious. Now 25-year-old woke me is like, oh my god, the struggles of black femmes. We go through so much.
That's so deep.
Class and race.
That's real. Someone chastised me the other day for not being able to be not analytical when I was smoking. And he was like, shouldn't you just be like relaxed? And I was like, this is who I am. Like, there is no off switch.
Take me as I am.
It's like, even when I'm high as hell, I'm analyzing stuff.
Right.
How can you not?
How can you? It's so nuanced.
It's so nuanced. I want to start 4 sentences this week with it's so nuanced.
It's so nuanced. I'm going to start all of my sentences with, at the beginning of the night. The beginning of the night, you got to do what you got to do. So, shout out to Monique. Get your point.
Yes.
It's a lot. I think also for me, it's the method in which she tends to communicate. Mm-hmm. Like I think the video felt like dramatic
for no reason.
And it just didn't match like what was happening.
And often enough times I found with Monique, I don't like sometimes her tone when talking to Black people, like en masse. And celebrities often don this tone where, I mean, it's paternal. It's also like, it's classist. It's also like Black folks ought to do we ought to do these things. We have to do this thing. Like if we don't, even on this, if we don't support Monique's boycott, then therefore we're somehow less Black. Yeah. But I feel like Monique, that's been a thread in some of her work outside of the comedy for a little while. And I'm trying to reconcile that with the fact that I think this is like a legitimate like grievance, but I also have some type of an issue and criticism with how most celebrities talk to Black people.
That's real.
Yeah. That's it.
So get your point. We're going to be watching Netflix in the meantime.
Yes.
Because healing. We've given up enough.
And Black Mirror, goddammit.
Black Mirror.
And
I know her name. From Chewing Gum. What is her name?
Michaela Cole.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Bae.
I love her.
Girl.
Now, people who need Netflix specials.
Her.
Right.
Yes.
She needs a fucking Netflix special.
Right.
Oh my God.
Tiffany Haddish.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just like saying Tiffany Haddish's name.
Because it sounds like radish.
It sounds like hash brown. I'm fat.
Ooh, radishes and hash browns.
Radishes are disgusting, so no.
They don't serve any purpose.
Disgusting.
They don't serve any
Just
purpose.
crunchy.
Stop it.
Oh no, they're gross. They taste like what I think people who don't like cilantro think cilantro tastes like.
Guys.
Miriam's triggered.
I feel attacked. I always have the unpopular food opinion.
You do. Sorry.
Radish.
Ew.
Some garnish.
You know what I remember? I remember the first time I tasted a radish. I was 5 years old. Where they had one of those like
Y'all have vegetables?
So listen.
Vegetables?
It was at
what kind of fancy childhood?
It was at daycare, and it was
Y'all had daycare?
What front yard was this?
Y'all had supervision? What? Nigga, y'all was breathing? What?
So yes, it was daycare, and it was like a day that they had created, like make these kids taste these vegetables they probably never tasted before. And so this teacher handed me a radish, like like little slice, and was like, taste this.
Apple.
And I very distinctly remember that was the first time I connected with feeling betrayed.
Because it does approach you as something that's like red and tasty. And
yeah, I looked at this whole. I said, "You let me put this in my mouth?" It was so. I've never intentionally eaten a radish since.
What? Well, here's the thing. Your palate has matured.
Not from that. My palate is 5, okay? That was nasty.
I love radishes.
No, I said intentionally. I have actually bitten into one before because there are certain restaurants, like a lot of Mexican spots, like to just throw some radish in there.
Yeah.
I've crunched on one on accident since. They still nasty.
See, the crunch is what gets me.
I love it.
I like anything. That's why I like water chestnuts. Anything that gives you that kind of that crunch. I love that crunch.
I hate that. I hate water chestnuts.
I'm looking at you.
I hate like a texture surprise. Like if I'm eating something and it has a particular texture, and then all of a sudden I'm crunching on something. Like, whoa, wait a minute.
It's like a crunch.
Is that my tooth?
Right.
Where the fuck was that?
I did not consent to water chestnuts. I don't. Ugh.
And they feel like they never get soft, no matter how much you like deal with them. They're always going to be crunchy. That's why I like that.
Ugh.
I like them in slaws and stuff. I like the crunch. I like hearing.
So why don't you like radishes then?
Because it's just like dirt.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I like dirt sometimes too. So like beets taste like dirt to me, but I'll still eat beets.
I like beets.
Oh my gosh, I love beets.
Beets are
They're
tasty.
so pigmented. Ugh.
I hate that shit.
That's what you identify with.
Every time I cook with beets, my hands are always like deep red.
Yes.
So I don't like them cooked. I'll do them in a smoothie.
What?
I really like a beet smoothie.
I will take them raw. I'll take them cooked. I will take a beet, however you give me a beet.
I just want you to want better for yourself. Just want you to know you have options.
I don't want better for myself.
Trash people.
Related,
Trash
but
people.
not really. I had parsnip fries the other day that I made. They were tasty.
that?
They were really good.
See, you ain't going to lure me in with that story.
They were. This is what you do.
Fries.
They're a root vegetable.
Throw them
So
in the trash.
no, you peel them and you slice them and you toss them in olive oil and seasoning, except I had grapeseed oil. And then you roast them.
Fancy.
They're delicious.
Oh, it sounds
Aren't
so
they
good.
crunchy?
Not when you make them fries.
Okay.
I've never had them any other way. I'm not that much of an adult. It's still a root vegetable. So anyway, moving on, as we were discussing parsnips,
White
I want to know
white women.
I knew it.
Because white women are also vegetables. No, I didn't.
I don't know.
Sorry. Didn't think it.
I was thinking that parsnips are
They're white people
viewed
vegetables.
as a white person
They're
vegetable.
white people
That's what I was
vegetables.
thinking.
They are.
Oh,
I'm a seguist
Professional.
professional.
Clearly.
I do this.
I'm not a segue.
There's so many vegetables that I didn't get exposed to until I got older, and I was like, "Oh, this is good." Like asparagus. Growing up, asparagus was white people food.
Yeah, I love asparagus.
Yo, except for when you go to the
not-
bathroom the
I was
day
gonna
after,
say, oh.
and you think you have an STD. Yeah,
Oh my god.
I was gonna say it's not good for your love life. I was thinking for different reasons though.
because it makes cum taste bad.
Yeah.
it
Oh,
does.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I've ever had asparagus come.
Oh, I have.
As you would know.
You would know.
Well, I don't be so.
It's fine.
So,
So,
you know.
anyway, the Women's March was today, or Women's Marches.
The Women's March Part 2.
Yeah.
5 million women, I think, so far is the last count.
Somebody sent me a text today. My friend Austin, shout out to Austin.
Hey.
Hey, Austin.
Austin was like, "Are you going to the Women's March?" I was like, "Hi, I'm Stephanie."
Right. Fuck out of here.
So I read something, I can't remember who posted it because I'm irresponsible, that the Women's March in Philly, that the organizers were like cooperating with police to set up basically like authorized stop and frisk checkpoints. So even if I had been a person who was going, like that was it for me.
Yeah, fuck that. I just white women, just come in real close. Not that any of you were listening. Y'all had a calendar year. You had a fucking year to learn and do better. And on January 20th, the following year, you are still trash. Like fucking garbage. First of all, if you're setting up police checkpoints, what you're essentially saying is fuck undocumented women.
Oh,
Hell
all
yes.
together.
We
Hell
don't care
yes.
if you're here.
Hell yes.
Fuck trans women.
Hell
We
yes.
don't care if you're here. Fuck black women. Like you send a police checkpoints?
Right.
What the fuck is wrong with you? And then on top of that, like, so I now live in a cute little neighborhood that's close to white people. And me and my roommate, shout out to Nayo, we're walking down to the little Target, and on the way, like from the Target back, we saw maybe 20 of those pink pussy hats.
How are you still doing that in 2018?
How? And here's my thing. Had you really been with the shits, and some people were saying last, because I was dragging these motherfuckers last year when we did the shit at first. And they were like, no, Miriam, if they're learning and growing and waking up now, then like, let them wake up, let them join the movement. Had you really been invested, you would have spent this year learning.
Right.
You would have spent this year in those circles where you would have been reading. Because it's not like you don't have the access. You know, like I don't feel bad for telling you to go Google some shit because you have the access.
Right.
You have the range. You just haven't done it. So had you really been invested, you would have spent this year learning, and you would know that you should not still be wearing pink pussy hats to a women's march, because not all women have pussies. Like, it's very simple to me, and these bitches simple to me. Like, it pissed me the fuck off. Like, I was so mad. I was like almost yelling at random white women on the street with their fucking pink hats on. Like, damn, I didn't know all pussies was pink.
There's
I also
that.
didn't know that all of us had pussies, because
There's that.
some of us don't. Anyway, sorry, that was my.
But I
whole
mean,
rant.
again, it just drives home who their feminism is for.
And it's so clear. It's like
It's
blaringly
blatant.
clear. And then one of them had the nerve to have a sign with Oprah's face on it.
Oh, girl.
Girl. If you don't put that away and your fucking mammy dreams, put them away. Put them away.
Mammy dreams.
So then there was a lovely picture of somebody who had put one of the hats on a Harriet Tubman statue in Harlem. Like,
that motherfucker should have got cracked.
like you weren't.
And it's like it's completely lost. It's completely lost on people. Like how does no one step up and say, hey, maybe this
How?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. Like maybe this is like not okay, or maybe this like lends itself to at least a little bit more interrogation.
Right.
But I think that's the benefit of power and privilege, is the fact that you can do these things and be completely unexamined
You didn't
and
have
then
to think
blame
about that.
other people for them getting their feelings hurt. And which is completely ironic. The same time period where New York just released a study showing that stop and frisks have declined like tremendously over the past 10 years, and particularly over the past year. They've gone down by I think the number now is like 10,000 stop and frisks a year versus over 1 million when Giuliani was in office. And crime itself has gone down as well. To show you, one, stop and frisk has never been about crime.
Right.
Never been about crime.
No.
It's always been about telling black and brown people and poor people where they ought not to be.
Right.
And it's about like keeping them under this constant veil of suspicion. So it's like, how do you reconcile that with the fact that you want to collaborate with the police?
Right.
Like somehow making stop and frisk pink makes it like, seriously, like makes it somehow not like police state like tactics, co-optation. Like, how does that not make sense?
Because the police always have and always will protect white women.
Tell it.
Like, and white women don't want equality. They want to be treated like white men. They have no problem collaborating with the police because that's one step closer to their goal. They don't want to be equal. They want to be over.
53%.
Nigga, fuck them. Fuck.
53%. Vote for Donald Trump. That's the end of that statement.
Oh,
We know.
yeah.
There we go.
That number is forever burned into my mind.
Yo.
Imagine making the monster and then going out and leading the march against it. You backwards dizzy bitch. Like,
I'm like, that's the perfect parable of American capitalism. That is.
Hello.
It is. It's like, let's destroy the planet, and then we can create the technology and charge you to like not be destroyed by it.
Absolutely.
Or let's create your need and then market all these things that you don't need to satisfy it.
Absolutely.
and my whole thing is like, has your life changed in this past year? Because there are people who've been deported. There are people who have lost health care. There are people who have died. Like, but how has your life changed? And you out here stepping and twirling for what? To be heard?
Oprah 2020.
Girl.
Let me not actually
Like,
talk about Oprah.
Don't Oprah.
I don't need that heat.
Don't let Oprah be the first and last black woman's name that comes out of your mouth. You know?
And then, and it's so telling, because I said these been on Facebook. It's so telling that we have a Maxine Waters and we have an Oprah. Even if we just pit those two together in this false equivalence, why are people pivoting to this caricature of Oprah that they're creating,
right,
and not dealing with Maxine Waters, who is not even just like, she's not even the best representation of black girl anger and black girl brilliance, but she is definitely a representation of it.
Right.
But our coins are with Oprah, the billionaire, who has like this very specific view of blackness and very specific view of gender that has made Oprah money. And I mean, it works for some people, I think, but it definitely has not worked for me, versus a Maxine Waters who is very much just like reclaiming my time. Like, I think it says a lot. And I think this definitely ties into, Miriam, you said it, the mammy politics, the mammification of all of it. It's the fact that you want to be coddled by black women with big titties and you don't want to deal with black women pain. You don't want to deal with black women's sorrow, or black bodies as they exist.
Right.
It's not about that. It's about being coddled.
For sure. And being told that being thanked for your presence.
Yeah.
That's
The
it.
Arrogance.
That's it.
Right.
Being thanked for your presence.
Being
That's
thanked
it.
for your presence.
That's it.
Like you did something.
Arrogance.
Like
Awareness.
you want to be acknowledged.
Awareness.
Yeah. I just...
Being thanked for your presence. Yes.
And then to put, I'm sorry, when I saw that they had put that hat on Harriet Tubman, I was the angriest I've been in probably
terrorism.
weeks. And like, I live in a constant state of anger. I'm in Aries, but like that, nothing has made me angrier than that. Like,
Honey.
are you, like, Harriet Tubman was a disabled black slave.
Please go on.
What?
Please go on.
In what world?
Please go on.
In what world
Please go on.
do you take your symbol of white woman supremacy and put it on her head?
Right.
Like she is leading you anywhere. She ran from you. She led thousands of people away from you. You didn't come out of the house and tell anyone to stop whipping anybody.
Come on.
Bitch. You stayed in there and orchestrated some deaths yourself because you was tired of people fucking your husband. Okay? In what world do you align Harriet Tubman with anything having to do with you? Oh my God. Oh my God.
This is Three Black Femmes.
Oh my God.
This is the realest.
Sorry if you showed up with edges. We had no intention of you keeping them.
None.
And you should have known.
I felt that. And especially because I feel like a real read of gender relations under chattel slavery that we know of is the fact that womanhood was something that was always questioned and denied to black women, to enslaved African women.
Yes.
So I feel like it's not coincidental. It's like, it was the journey of truth, right? Who got up in Seneca Falls and like, ain't I a woman? Like, that's not like, that echoes against the fact that there was such a tide that argue that black women are not. And that honestly, that rape was the cure to make black women into women. So to turn the tables and then to put this hat on Harriet Tubman, Sojourner, who put
The hat was put on Harriet Tubman.
Put on Harriet Tubman.
So to put the hat on Harriet Tubman, I think is like, it is a kind of cultural terrorism. It really is.
Absolutely.
Because you've never cared about her before. Like you've never let her name leave your lips because you know she wasn't doing it for you, so it did not matter to you until there was a time to take and capitalize on it for an image. For what? For what? Harriet Tubman fought for a specific freedom that you have always had the access to. So I don't understand why you would take your grimy, skinny fingers, Samantha, and put that hat on her head. Oh my God. I hope that bitch broke her leg today. Whoever the fuck did that. Listen, girl, if this gets around to you, okay, my Instagram is at John the Baptist.
Yes.
Get in my DMs. We gonna meet up and I'm gonna fucking fight you. Like, I can't believe this. I've never been.
You're so Baltimore.
I've never been angrier in my whole
My
life.
spirit.
I went through Baltimore last week. I did. And the moment I got into Baltimore, I just breathed in. I was like, Miriam.
Yes.
All I kept saying was Baltimore. I was trying to like say it like you so that way I could like manifest you in the room.
Like Beetlejuice?
Yes.
Baltimore. If you say Baltimore 3 times, actually a nigga in New Balances will appear behind you in the mirror and say, fuck it is, dummy.
Yo. And offer you some type of Old Bay season something.
Yes. The last time I was in Baltimore, I saw a church. It was like this little storefront church. And it was called the Thank God for Jesus Baptist Church.
That church is a 5-minute walk from my house.
Yes.
I was like, is it Thank God for Jesus Baptist Church?
I would tell people about it, and they were just like, that's not what that church was called.
Yes,
I'm like, it was the Thank God for Jesus Baptist Church.
So fun fact, you're about to be disappointed in me. So when I say the Thank God for Jesus
Here we go.
Baptist Church was a 5-minute walk from my house, right?
This is about
I
to
knew
turn.
that because that's where my father lived for most of my life. And he never made it around to my house to see me. But I was on my way to school. So like we walked past that.
Hey, Dad.
And dead ass. Like
Who?
I would tell my friend like dead ass. Like, no, this is where my father lived. And they should be like, bitch, shut up, you lying. And I wouldn't contest it at all. But that's where that nigga lived.
Oh my
Thank God for
God.
Jesus.
I only knew that because my mom used to take me over there when I was a kid, and apparently I was always mean to him. He like gave me $1 when I was 2, and I was like, I don't want your dirty money. First of all, they should have put me back up inside when I said that.
Because you've grown so much.
They should have known.
They should have known. They're like, oh no, not this one, not this one.
You the one that's going to lead us to freedom.
That's right.
This person has been this boy that I haven't had sex with in years. He's Facebook messaging me and like trying to video chat. What is that?
Why?
I don't know. Apparently he did not get the memo.
You have to like have like a couple brunches first, like to get back
Before
in
a
after
video
you.
Here we go.
Like what the fuck?
There's a simple rule. Don't video chat me. That's the rule. I don't even like talking on the phone. Like, if you're interacting with me, it's usually through a text, and it's usually like 3 days after you sent it. Like, you're video chatting me? You don't know me.
Actually,
you don't love me.
I like a good FaceTime.
If we ain't
thing
jerking
is,
off.
More than a phone call.
The thing is,
I don't like talking on the phone.
You have to be a certain kind of person to me to FaceTime me, though.
Right.
You can't be any bull.
Right.
I will
And you have to already know that you can do that.
Yeah.
Don't sign you up for the...
No, none of it. Unless we are jerking off and we both agreed upon that relationship.
And in that case, hit my Cash App first.
Hey.
The fuck?
Hey.
If you got
Cash App
your
is a
fancy on
godsend.
FaceTime.
I saw something today and I reposted it on Facebook that really resonated with my spirit. And it said, I'm paraphrasing badly, if you know a woman who's like recently like had an important accomplishment in her life, like throw her a party or throw her a cash app the way that you would if she was getting married or having a baby. And I was like, that's so real.
That is real.
Amen.
Especially the 30-something woman that's not married and don't have no babies. Like there are these like life things that happen and your community like surrounds you and showers you. And uplifts you and takes care of you in ways that if you're doing things that don't fit into those categories,
you don't get seen.
Yeah. So the thing said like it listed examples of like published a book, and I added like got a degree or got a divorce, or
Yes.
Sometimes you gotta.
Yeah, cash at me.
You gotta celebrate.
I feel like we need to redefine growth, because growth is only really defined as like those big, like life milestones that we can put on cards and have it be fun. But like, I think a divorce is also a measure of growth.
Absolutely.
Of course it is.
Says the never married mid-20s.
But says the can't keep a nigga.
The Stephanie Keene story. However,
girl.
Yeah, I think that's huge because like that's whether it quote unquote happened to you or it's a decision that you made yourself, like divorce is huge and life shifting.
Yes,
and like,
it is.
Why do we support and celebrate the cute part at the beginning by sending you money and cards and then when it's over, it's just like, oh girl, sorry to hear that.
Good luck, sis.
It's because we cringe and we're like, oh, this could be me. And I think that's also why we support like weddings and shit, because we're just like, oh, like this can be me. So we're gonna celebrate this together because really I'm here at your event, like imagining myself in this position, but we don't want to associate ourselves with that kind of like pain or grief or rejection. So we abandon people when they go through it.
Which is a whole hot mess.
People fucking suck, man.
They do. So if your homegirl just got a divorce, buy her some vegan chicken.
Yes.
Send her a gift card to a spa.
Yes.
Or
send it to me. I will make sure she gets it.
If she got divorced, if she broke up, if she quit her job, like all of it.
If it's just Tuesday.
If it's Tuesday.
Cash app a black woman today.
Cash app a black woman today. Particularly me.
And by me, Miriam's Cash App is Rhythm Keen. It's RhythmKeene. Cash App Miriam.
Honestly, if you're not a black femme and you're listening to this right now,
Cash App all of us.
Cash App all of us.
Pay me.
Each of us gets $5 if you're listening to this and you're anything other than a black femme.
Thanks.
Okay? All right? Mm-hmm. Tip me, bitch.
Speaking of tips.
Oh, this dick. I'm sorry, 7 years old.
That was perfect.
I've been around my students too long. I teach middle school boys.
What is that like?
It sounds like Vietnam. I'm sorry.
It is like Vietnam.
I remember when I was that age.
Nigga. And you know what's the fucking worst?
We don't get any older.
No, this is like the most mature they're gonna get. Like, what's the worst is that I'm like building relationships with them now. Yeah. So I asked one kid, because it's a kid who's like brilliant and all of his teachers have rave reviews. And in my class, he's still brilliant and does a lot of work. But I'm like, kiddo, why do you talk so much? And he goes, cause Miss So-and-so, and this is like after school ends. He goes, cause Miss So-and-so, just so you know, like, your class is where I can it's like when you pour out the rest of the Kool-Aid, he said something childish, and I was like, what? But he was essentially saying, like, I can dump the rest of my brain out here. He's like, I can feel free enough to just like, and I guess because it is a creative writing class, like they feel that level of comfortability. But
shut up, boy.
But shut up. And I'm getting so mean to my kids, honestly. And like, I'm not being like actually mean, but like now I was just like, because I'll be talking, they'll just be talking over me at full volume. So I was like, yo, shut up. and one kid was like, you mean be quiet, Miss So-and-so? And I was like, no, I mean shut up.
No, I said what I meant.
The thing is, the kids ride for me though. Because other kids would be like, ooh, she got you. But then I'd be like, guys, shut up.
Everybody.
Everyone, no, you too.
Shut up.
Like, or if I'm trying to like get some kids quiet, another kid would be like, stop talking over Miss So-and-so. And I'm like, yo, it's not helping. Shut up. Fuck.
Not how this works.
I have gained such a newfound respect for teachers now that my friends are teachers. And like one of my friends called me yesterday, like blackout fucking drunk. Blackout drunk. And I'm like, well, what is going on in your world that you have to be blackout drunk right now? I said on the couch as I was high. And that's exactly what he said. He was like, did we talk about my career path? I was like, yeah, you're a teacher. He was like, this is why I'm drunk.
Yes.
Like, the kids make me drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing is, so real.
That's not to say that I don't love it, because I've never felt more fulfilled doing anything. This is the first job I've ever had where I've not.
But you earned every one of your pennies.
Oh.
You earned every one of your pennies.
But like, this is the first job I've had where I've not thought about my pennies, you know, like where I've not been like, oh, when's the next check coming? I'm always just like, how can I do this better? Like, how can I work harder? How can I work harder? But like, bitch, if they don't run me fucking ragged,
I'm sure
run me ragged. And I'm just like, yo, and they know it too. I got this one kid who always gets in trouble in my class, but he's obsessed with me. Like, he's like, Miss So-and-so, can I come to your class for lunch? And I'm like, no. And he's like, why? He's like, because you know I don't want to deal with you. Like, and I'm transparent with them like that. So like, I don't know if that's why they like me. That's why, yeah. And he's like, what? You don't want to? And I was like, you're smarter than you're acting. Like, you're smarter than you're letting on. And he was like, wait, I don't get it. And then another kid who like won't leave my freaking classroom and is sitting there during lunch, yells from across the room. He goes, she means you know better. Like, yo. And then like I have to like literally like lock him out of my room, and then the other kid is like laughing at that, and I'm like, you go too.
Everybody, I don't get out.
Everyone get out. It is lunch. Get out. Get away from me. Good morning, Miss So-and-so. Have a good weekend, Miss. Leave me alone.
That's why I can't be a teacher. I don't have the patience.
I love them to death, though. I love them to death.
I mean, and you will probably also perhaps be the first person that teaches them about boundaries.
You know,
which is an important fucking lesson.
I'm not the first person at 6th grade.
You probably are.
Child. Yeah, you
but
are.
I probably am. Because a kid will get in trouble, then he'll get up and hug me, and I'll be like, don't fucking touch me. Like, get off me. Like, I didn't ask for that. Like, you don't understand. Like, when they push each other because, oh God. So teaching kids who are hyper masculine, they'll do a thing where they'll like clearly have a crush on each other or be fixated on one another, but then they won't be able to handle it. So they'll just push each other and yell, nigga, you gay, until someone gets suspended. So like,
here's a note. That's exactly what happens now as an adult gay.
Plot twist.
Seriously.
Plot fucking twist.
But that is 100% true. But also, you know, shout out to your first same-sex crush and not knowing what it was, but knowing enough that it wasn't just the regular shit.
Yeah. So like me, a gay, can clearly tell this is.
Yeah.
You like him. You have a crush on him. Like, it's okay.
And you hit him because of it.
Yeah. But I ban certain words like that in my class. Like, they know that they'll get an automatic demerit if they say like the F word.
As they should.
Or the R word.
Teach
like,
them little
say that shit.
Yes.
Don't you ever fucking say that shit.
That.
Stop it.
So many people in my life keep using that word.
So now, like, when a kid says the F or the R word, another kid will be like, take out your demerit card. And I'm like, yes. Now that you know.
You know what it is.
Ever say that shit.
We just got a femgram.
Femgram.
I just made that up.
I love how we already had a song for it.
Of course. That really was the first time.
So my bestie Austin,
hey Austin,
shout out to Austin, sent me a text, and he says, so apparently he went to the Women's March in Boston. Well, he attempted to go and missed it and then went back home, but whatever. Point is,
nice.
The point is, he just saw the picture of me and Miriam wearing our matching Dear White Supremacy, I'm Still Here shirts. And this is what he wore to the march.
Oh, he wore his Dear White Supremacy, I'm Still Here shirt.
We're matching.
Wow.
And we didn't even know.
And we're all here.
And shout out to going to the Women's March in Boston wearing your Dear White Supremacy, I'm Still Here shirt.
Right, because that wasn't on none of they fucking minds.
I love it.
Bitch.
If you gonna go,
right,
go.
Then
go.
Then
if I'm gonna
show up and
I'm
show
showing
out.
up. Yes.
Okay.
Man, when and where I enter, all of me enters. The race of me enters.
Yes. I think that was what I enjoyed so much about the Radical MLK conversation earlier this week, was that was what so many of the panelists brought to the conversation. Was like, we're not going to talk about this if we're not going to talk about intersectionality.
Yes.
I would have loved to be in that space and then to juxtapose it to the conference that I went to earlier or late last year. and all that nonsense, and how intersectionality was exactly not on the menu. How like people use their mouth holes to say that like trans bodies, women's issues, and like LGBT issues are a distraction to the greater cause of Black unity. Like that type of shit.
Ooh.
As we're sitting in the middle of North Philly.
That can get you swung on. Right. Honestly. Like I will fight.
And there I am sitting inconveniently Black and gay.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah. Like if your Black issues don't encompass me, they're not Black and they're not issues.
Not Black.
There we go.
There
like
it is.
you have to understand that like Black people
Come through.
are gay.
Come through.
There are gay Black people.
And we've always been queer. I'm sorry. Especially in our rendering in America, we've always been queer. We've always existed outside of American gender norms and really American race norms. Like we've always been
all
queer.
American norms.
All of it.
And y'all want to talk bullshit about saying like, oh, well, you know, that's a European thing. That's a European thing. Girl, the way that y'all view gender is European as fuck. As fuck. No, for real. Like put that face on it.
It don't work for them. It don't work for you. And you're telling me that this is the problem?
Like people been had multiple lovers of multiple genders, girl. People been rejecting gender, girl. Like, and y'all just want to talk about something is European. First of all, you call them motherfuckers king and queen, and you don't dicky Europe.
Come through.
Say it.
But you're saying king and queen?
Say it.
Bitch, you love Europe. Shut your dumb ass up. Smelling like fucking patchouli. Shut up.
The other thing that came up in the conversation and the ways in which people don't acknowledge intersectionality is when it comes to youth and youth voices and youth agency.
Hell yes. That's such a threat to people.
Yeah.
Such a threat.
It's like I've been in so many events just within the last couple of like months where people either try to blatantly silence youth who are present or try to diminish the value of what they offer because they happen to use social media as a tool. And it's like, just because you old and ain't figured out how to use this in a way that...
Right. Like, how did you get here via chainmail? Like, how'd you find out about this, Curtis?
And I also feel like the bus boycott in Selma was planned using like church phone trees, which on some real terms is like the technology of social media then.
Stop it.
So I was like, what are you talking about?
I also heard somebody say something really interesting. I wish I could remember the percentage because it's
just make one up. People believe them
My brain is so bad. So it was
53.
It was 53. It was like, you know, only 23% of Black people participated in the bus boycott.
Yeah.
Funny fact, it was 13. Not even 23. It was 13%.
You know, I'm a coddler.
I'm going to give us a little bit more than that.
It was 23%.
It was 23, no.
13. See, that's why numbers matter. I just can't remember them.
So it don't take too many of us.
But it doesn't take too many of us. And also the way that we like to reimagine history. And we like everybody was down and nobody was riding a bus and we was all together. And
it's not how it works.
Not how it works.
And also, like, people do that, and I think in so many ways to like arrest revolutionary change. So if you've always been taught, if you've always been force fed that you have to have this imaginary beloved community before you take any step in the way of your freedom, then that means that you're never going to take that step because that community has never existed because Black people are not a fucking monolith.
Right.
And we never have been.
You can pick up your We Are Not a Monolith shirt at incensetrapandyoga.com.
Yes.
There you go.
Come on, plug.
You better. But and it's real though. So it's like, if that's the case, if we've never been a monolith, and if all the history of revolution in the world has taught us that it's a minority of people that see change, then why do we now have to have a king, have somebody look like X for us to move forward?
Right. I mean, but if we have a group of people who happen to look like Malcolm X, it's cool. We could work with that.
Hey, Red.
If you look like Detroit Red,
you a bad red bone like Malcolm X.
Especially if you buy like Malcolm X. The type of shit I'm trying to be on in 2018, okay? In 2018.
That's all. I'm just saying, like, people just go so hard to like...
So hard.
Yeah. To reimagine what actually happened. I feel like people do that with Baldwin.
People love doing that with Baldwin.
It's like, now that's like your favorite Uncle Writer.
Come through.
But like...
Come through.
Let's not act like back in the day, like
they wasn't trying to fuck with his gay ass,
right?
And let's not pretend that even now in this day you imagine Baldwin without Baldwin with dicks in his hand,
right?
Let's just say that.
Say that. That's real. You separate it so that you can digest it in a way that matters for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you retell the story in a way that vindicates your image of your suffering self.
Right.
Because I think that's exactly what it is. When you have to say that all black people came together, really what you're saying is that since all black people are not coming together, I don't have to do anything.
Right.
When y'all come together, then you call me. No, nigga, that's not how it works.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
You show up. You show up.
Right.
Just say that you lazy and you hate gay people. Like, say that.
Just say that.
Didn't you have a status
I
recently?
said something about like just admit you hate women. It'll make
Hell
this all
yes.
easier for the rest
Hell
of
yes.
us.
Like,
All these
just
other
say
words.
it so we
Just
know
say
to cut you off.
Right.
I mean, I was going to do it anyway, but
Right.
you know, there's a lot of women who are still holding on to you because they think that it's nuanced.
And I mean, and look at Trump. Like you can legitimately hate women and legitimately tell people that you hate women and still carry 53%.
Yep.
So it's like it's possible. It's possible to hate women and still have some women.
Listen,
Ride for you.
somebody's always going to carry a flag dipped in their blood if it oppresses somebody else that they don't like. Okay, you're gonna get that support.
We've had so
Get that
many
support.
words
All right.
on
You
this
know?
day.
And at the
On
beginning
this
of the
day?
night,
Yes. On this great day. Shout out to people confirming dates.
yes.
6 o'clock at Barcade.
Yes.
Oh.
My phone is empty.
My phone is
Dry.
also dry.
Yo, my
Dry
phone has
as
like
well.
5 gigabytes of new porn. It's been a fucking amazing week.
Yes.
Daryl's always getting so much more than us. I feel like.
Can we just talk about the number of times that I have passed Daryl in the lobby of our building? There was literally one day, I feel like this was after our last episode, so I don't feel like I said this already, but there was one day where I passed Darryl and I had a bag of greasy fries from Five Guys, because it's all I can eat from there, doused in the malt vinegar.
Yes.
And Darryl, I was heading in, Darryl was heading out, and he was like, "Oh, what's your evening like?" And I was like, "These fries."
Oh, yeah.
And he was like waiting for a date and about to have this like exciting evening. And I was like, this is accurate.
fun.
This is about to go get some wine and these fries.
And I felt amazing. I was cleaned out.
Yeah.
On my way to West Philly.
Ooh.
Right across from Malcolm X Park.
West Philly dick
Yes.
is
Malcolm X
West
is
Philly
here.
dick is important.
West Philly dick is the
can't
only
relate.
thing that
When
When I
hits
say
me.
West
I
Philly
can't
dick, I
relate.
mean West Philly dykes.
I take it all. Because a good AG will set me straight.
Yes.
And I meant that in a gay way. I did not mean like heterosexual.
Like actually
straight.
straight. No,
Oh,
that's
no.
the cuss word.
This is
Don't say that in my classroom.
Amy Schumer.
You'll get a demerit.
There was another lyric on that same song, Fergie, and he says something about, and I feel like even people who love it probably miss it. He says something about put on the right layers before I go outside. We're gonna be straight. And I'm like, he meant like, you know what I mean? Like putting on this armor and like
Heterosexuality
this
is a
front
costume.
and like,
Come on.
yes.
Come on.
Wow.
It's blowing you
Wow.
out.
I just love it.
What a genius.
He's great. He's the greatest.
Oh, heck.
It is genius giving people medicine they don't think they need in a form that they would like anyway. It's always genius.
Are we talking about pussy?
We're talking about it all. I don't know her. I've never had that.
I'm like,
Never had that emotion.
I don't know her.
I'm like, what's a medicine I didn't think I needed until I knew? Pussy. Pussy.
This episode has been brought to you by Malcolm X, Kendrick Lamar.
And the letter P.
Malcolm X, Redbone ass.
You're welcome.
All right, so ideal threesomes, because someone said Malcolm X, Kendrick Lamar, and now I want to know, what are people's, if you could have a threesome with anyone, dead or alive?
No, they have to be alive. God.
They'll be alive during the threesome.
Of course.
Jesus, rhythm, we'll just bring them back.
Oh my God.
Come on.
Why am I?
sorry.
No, we'll just bring them back.
What is happening?
I'm getting me some king. I'm just going to put it out there. I can be the mountaintop. I'm putting it out there. I'm just saying it out there. If he's going to be a philanderer, philander me. I'll protect you, baby.
Oh my God.
Fellatio.
Why am I here? What is my purpose?
Philandering and fellatio.
Boycott, I'll drive you, babe. I'll drive you.
Oh, bitch, I too had a dream. I too. I ain't woke up yet.
Come on here and get some of these greens, Malcolm. Mark, I'll take them both.
Jesus Christ.
My kitchen is open.
Why?
My
This
kitchen's
is
open.
why. Oh my God, I swear I hate black people. What's
What?
wrong with you?
What?
Oh my God, put yourself by your bootstraps, Darryl. I hate you right now. What's wrong with you? I was rooting for you. This is your ancestor speaking.
This is your fault.
Rooting for you.
You started it.
You're lying. My ancestors left me in 5th grade. They looked into my soul and saw nothing
Oh no.
and realized
It's a lost cause.
I'm an avatar, but just not the kind you think.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
God.
I just love how you're blaming Darryl.
Seriously.
You led him to the water.
And I should not drink?
You should not drink with his mouth.
My mouth? My mouth craves freedom?
My mouth where these babies sleep.
Yes!
We were doing so good, guys.
Oh no.
Plot twist, we were never doing good. We were never
We're
doing
not
good.
doing good. Speaking of not doing good, the American government. Let's talk about it.
This
Am I a seguist or am I a seguist?
You're a
though?
seguist.
this popsicle stick, bubble gum, like
Oh,
shoestring government, y'all bullshit.
this duct tape.
This duct tape.
goddamn.
It's bullshit.
Nah, duct tape is pretty strong.
Duct tape is strong. Not like these white egos. I don't understand how you control both houses of Congress. You control the presidency, the majority of state legislators and governorships, and you shut your own government down. I don't And then on top of all that, blame Democrats. And polls right now
Always.
suggest that the majority of Americans blame Democrats. How?
Always.
How?
Always.
That's also because Democrats have shit-ass leaders.
Yeah.
Shit-ass fucking leaders.
Well, it's like somebody pointed out when everybody was like trying to rope Oprah into this nonsense. The fact that it's 2018
Come through.
and there is no clear there's not even a hint of like
Come through.
actual people who are
Come through.
interested in like when y'all gonna start pulling it together?
This is the last season of America. It's canceled.
It is.
Seriously.
Like
It is.
Netflix decided to not fund America again,
Yeah.
and really that's why Monique's
It
mad.
didn't get picked up. Yeah.
Like, if you're into this
America
nonsense,
didn't get picked up for another season.
It didn't. This is the last season
it
of
die.
America.
Child.
Honestly, shit, because it was always gonna be me or it. So I mean, I guess America should
So
die.
here we are.
My favorite sign that has come out of the protest so far is that this is the worst episode of Black Mirror. That's my favorite sign.
Yeah.
And what really, I want to say grinds my gears without like going Family Guy, but what really annoys me,
What irks my jerk?
what irks my jerk in all of this is the fact that America's trying to pivot to black women, like big titty black women to coddle and to save. And it's like, you did this.
Right.
Like after multiple warnings, we told you that this would happen. And then when this is happening, so now everyone's surprised?
Right.
You did this. You did this to yourself.
Right.
And you want
Your
Oprah to
damn
save
self.
you?
Right. That's like Miriam being mad at your comments just now.
Exactly.
Wait,
You did this.
wait.
You did this.
I am an
It
innocent.
takes a village to raise a Darryl.
You all are dyke phobic. You're putting this on the dyke. You are dyke phobia.
I'm trans dyke.
Personified.
Ooh, I'm not going to do that. Sorry. Took that back. Took that all the way back.
I'm proud of you. I'm
Took
proud
that
of
all
you.
the way back.
No, we have to
Took that all
recognize
the way
like
back.
seeing and checking yourself as a valid
job.
Took that
part
all
of
the way
growth.
back.
See?
I had to
you
think
are
that one
part
through.
of the Darryl village, and you did it
Yes,
yourself.
and you can raise yourself, pull
Shit.
yourself up by
I
your
wanna give myself
jockstrap,
a moment of
Darryl.
silence.
pull yourself up by your jockstrap.
Hey, I wore new underwear in DC. And shout out to Merlin Onyx, who told me that I had to make sure that I called him out because he added and he amplified your shaming.
Yes.
Your shaming. He brought your shaming in person.
Yes.
He was like, so before we get to DC, I just want, literally, it was a whole part of the conversation. It's like, I just want to be sure and understand what your underwear situation's going to be.
Yes.
And I was like, what you're not going to do is listen to my show.
And then drag me.
Me using the words on that's what you're not going to do.
That's beautiful.
Then we got to the room and I got undressed for festivities and he saw that I had on beautiful drawers.
Yes.
He was like, so you really did buy new drawers? I was like, I
Yes.
did.
I'm proud of
did.
you.
I didn't leave Philadelphia without buying new drawers.
Oh, I'm so proud of
beautiful.
you. I need to buy new drawers. Sorry, side.
Don't.
I do too for a
They're
whole
all
different
overrated.
girl's
reason.
house. I need to buy new ones.
I need to buy new ones because what's that Erykah Badu lyric?
Annie,
No, I can't remember. It's where she talks about her butt getting bigger.
you
My
believe
panties don't
that
fit anymore.
Oh,
And I just don't have money for that right now.
good problem.
I mean, it's a good problem, but I don't have money for that kind of problem right now.
I'm gonna buy some boy
you just gotta
drawers
stop
and
wearing
save
them
you
like
money.
me.
Just stop wearing them. I
Yeah.
can't.
Neither can I.
Oh,
I can't.
okay.
Neither can I.
I can't.
Okay.
I can't.
I know some people like that.
I'm anxious. Okay. I'm fine. Everything's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm on like an every other day where I'm not sharing this on air.
It only took one good time for me to get my dick and balls caught in my zipper, and I knew from that moment on that underwear. And I'm not. And it's called. I mean, it went over. So it went over.
Okay, this has been another episode of Three Black Femmes.
Sorry, I did not provide a trigger warning there.
Thanks for listening. Oh, Jesus.
What? It happens. No. That's why I feel like I have to wear underwear at all times.
But I feel like that should also encourage you not to wear holy underwear.
Well, it doesn't work that way. You can only lead a horse so close to water.
This is true.
Before a horse says, I want my draws back. Give me my draws. And I saw this beautiful porn with this guy getting done up the hole in his draws. And that's what I like. So one of the reasons I like having holy draws.
Wait.
Go ahead now. Go ahead now.
Like the natural hole in the front?
Describe natural.
The hole that's supposed to be there?
Describe suppose.
The hole that the manufacturer sewed.
No, these are other holes.
Oh my god!
I've had porn dreams of having holy draws.
How did you even find this porn? It's so specific.
I am Darryl. I am large and small.
I am so upset.
I contain multitudes.
Yeah, you do.
You do.
I'm upset.
What?
I'm upset that the porn exists. I'm less
Tumblr.
upset that you watched it because I feel like you earned that. Like if that exists, you deserve to watch it.
Daryl's the OG, honestly. Like earlier when you were talking casually about having a threesome, I was just thinking me there and my uneventful, haven't had a threesome yet life. Where I was sitting there just listening to you talking about having a threesome. I was like, yeah, I had a threesome the other night. And I was just like, yo, Darryl has a threesome the way that like you call your friends over and y'all order Grubhub, Just like, yeah, the other night.
You order Grubhub too.
Yeah, but like for y'all it happens as often as Grubhub.
Group sex is my natural sexual orientation. It really is.
For it.
I want just once. I'm trying to have just.
We can get this popping in hours. What's going on? Let me teach.
Darryl should be your scheduler.
Darryl should be my hitch.
Yes. Hitch, like the movie.
I did not see this
Will
movie.
Smith.
Will Smith is hooking
It's
people
fine.
up with each other, but
I do that kind of impishly
yeah,
for my benefit,
yes.
so I can smell the air.
Of course.
Oh, of course. I'll let you smell the air afterward. I'm fine with that. You can totally smell the air afterward.
I feel like there wasn't enough of appreciation of Hancock, the other Will Smith movie. This is totally related. It's not.
I've seen Hancock.
I just hate the name.
I love the name.
I like so I can't really remember the premise super well, but I like the idea. It was like him and this woman like kept being like cosmically drawn to each other.
I remember.
And it was like something like, I don't know. Like no matter like
where they both they were superheroes, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, and I envision myself as a superhero. So
Same. What would your superpower be?
Naturally. Don't make me think. Whining.
I think that's an amazing power.
Whining until people think I'm cute enough to just let me get away with what it is I'm trying to do.
Mine is finding the longest slowing moving line and getting into it. That's always my superpower.
That reminds me of the recurring nightmare I have where I'm at a buffet and I'm making my plate, but I'm taking so long to make my plate.
Everyone else is
Everyone that I'm with is eating, and I am not. I never get a chance to eat.
That's purgatory. That's some Greek tragedy.
And I have the dream like pretty regularly. It's always in a different place. And I've had it for enough years now that I start to recognize it. Like as soon as I'm making a plate in a dream, I'm like, no,
no,
I'm never going to get to eat.
No, that's an awful nightmare.
Yeah,
it's
sad.
That makes me want to go to a buffet to vindicate.
Let's go to a buffet after this.
Let's do it.
Ooh, as long as it's
Darryl has plans.
I do have plans. But y'all can come to the plans. Ain't no fun if the Femmes can't get none.
I don't want any.
I don't want
It just doesn't sound like my kind of party.
Ain't that kind of party. I'm using that phrase so often now.
Party?
It ain't even that kind of party.
Oh, I mean, because at the beginning of the night. That makes a difference, what kind of party it is.
You always gotta know what kind of party it is. You can't show up to a function without knowing.
That's right. Does somebody want to shout out our social media?
Oh, yeah.
I got dumb tongue, so.
For some reason, I doubt that. I seriously doubt that. So, If you want to fuck with the kids, ride with the mob, you can find us at 3blackfemmes.com.
These days.
Or you can follow us on Twitter at 3blackfemmes. This is all the number 3, not the spelled out one. Or Instagram at 3blackfemmes, or Facebook at 3blackfemmes. If you want to follow us individually, don't. Unless you are a bad femme, in which case my Instagram is at John the Baptist. Thanks.
My Instagram is at Rhythm Keen. You can also follow at Incense Trapping Yoga and buy stuff.
Buy stuff.
And I am at Darryl, period, the griot. It's always a party on my timeline.
Hey.
No, it seriously is. Darryl is the only reason I still have Facebook.
I mean, what else are we here for?
Right. We're all just here to see Darryl post memes. That's why I'm here.
And life troubles. I had an allergic reaction to something yesterday.
These niggas.
It really was these niggas. It was crazy because it was from medicine, right? And all my sisters work in the medical field. And I woke up and I was like, what is going on? Because I'm not really allergic to something. And I thought it was an STD. So I'm literally on like WebMD, like chlamydia, like swollen lips. Like
Swollen lips.
Yes, because it was an allergic reaction.
I have those. When I have those reactions, they happen in the moment.
Jesus
I can
Christ.
immediately know, like, oh, soy sauce, great.
Oh my gosh, it took me a minute. And I'm sending pictures to my sisters like, what's wrong with me? And they're like, your lips are going to fall off. And I go to, like, I'm in the bathroom freaking out, like, my lip. Like, seriously, lips fall off, comma, like, into Google. So, yeah, I don't know how we got to that, but I just wanted to share that. It was
I'm
on
just
my
glad
soul.
you're okay. I'm just glad you're okay.
I am too, thank you.
Important.
Because apparently I have Benadryl from when my nephew is allergic to peanuts, definitely allergic. And when I had him one week and I asked my sister, this is actually a point in, like, me dealing with kids. Is there anything I should know about this child before I take custody of this child? Like, no, he's good. He has fun. Da, 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 da. I was like, okay, well, great. Well, let me run down the menu of things I'm going to make for him, and you can let me know if anything in this menu doesn't work. I eat peanut butter all the time. I have peanut butter everything. So the first thing I said was peanut butter. She said, oh, no. He's definitely allergic to peanut butter.
Girl.
And I go, Angie, remember when I asked you?
That was where that information goes.
Because your baby would have been dead. And I would have had to make up an excuse for 2 weeks while you can't see your baby.
Oh my God.
Trying to figure out how I'm going to break this to you that your baby's dead.
Oh my God.
Throw that baby right down and be like, I'll see you later. I got something on the stove.
And here's how you know that I'm a Slytherin. Before I even was shocked, I was like, damn, what would this excuse be like? And how? What could he do with it long term? Like, let's stretch this out. I'm a fucking Slytherin. This is why my ancestors are taking a break.
Why they've abandoned you.
Yeah, they're honestly like, my ancestors are on a sabbatical from me. I am certain. That's why all this shit happened in 2017. They was like, we gonna see if she can get her act together next year. I didn't.
Maybe we'll come back.
I didn't.
They won't. I'm sure
They're
they're
like,
my ancestors
they're like,
somewhere.
you're not gonna see us till you somebody ancestor did your damn self, and it won't take long, bitch. Bye.
Baltimore. What was the name of that church? Whosoever?
It's Thank God
Thank
for
God for
Jesus
Jesus
First
Baptist
Baptist Church around the corner from my father's house. If you're listening to this, which I know you're not.
Hashtag where you at?
If you're listening to this, you probably don't know I'm talking about you. You probably don't know how my voice sounds.
Hashtag you a dad, nigga. Where you at?
Hashtag why do we give these people microphones?
Hashtag hey dad, I'm talking to you too.
Hashtag dad, my cash app is.
Yes.
The fuck? No, I swear, yo, when I talk to that nigga again right before he dies, because it's going to be right before he died, I'm going to be like, hit my cash app, nigga.
Just fart in the room and walk out.
I'm going to do exactly what you did to me 25 years ago.
I'm going to get some cigarettes. I'll be right back. Shit.
I know you're dying, but I got to go to milk at the store. Milk at the store. The milk spoiler. I gotta go.
BRB.
No. If we're still saying BRB 20 years into the future.
You think that nigga got another 20 years left? Come on, Darryl.
Man, I'm actually just hoping for an asteroid in 2020. Just
It's coming.
Asteroid 2020. Man, fuck Oprah 2020.
that's my vote.
Yes.
Asteroid 2020.
Give us a break. I'm tired.
Give us free.
That's free.
Give us free. So before we keep talking about how much
realistic note.
we no longer want to live, we're gonna go ahead and peace out. That was our episode.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.